15 games to play. They could be 7 points clear come the end of today. Is talk of a wobble just a little bit premature?
I think at the moment, as we sit here now at 12 o'clock, I think come what 5 o'clock, if they've lost this game at Leeds, then
the wobble's on.
The wobble's on.
Yeah.
The wobble is majorly on. But if they win this game, they go 7 points clear. Man City have got a difficult game, a couple of difficult games at Tottenham. I think they play Liverpool after that, someone like that. So they've got a difficult couple of games. So this could all be put to bed again in a couple of weeks. But this is, for me, Arsenal's biggest game of the season so far.
That big later.
I think it's humongous.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's a massive football.
And Leeds a different proposition to what we saw in August when they went to the Emirates, when they put 5 past them. Just one more to you. I mean, listen, 1 minute they're winning 5 in a row and they're storming clear at the top, and now they've been reined in just a little. Is it nerves beginning to creep in, or is it just that blip that most teams have during a season?
Well, I didn't think they'd go flawless to the end of the season. So they're always going to lose a game or two. I didn't see them winning every game. It all comes down to timings, this league race. You know, Arsenal are playing Man United last week. 5 weeks ago, Man United at home's an absolute give-me. Do you know what I mean? Amarin's coming with his team. You know, they're playing all over the place. They can't get a result. All of a sudden, they're playing them. And Carrick's in charge, put everybody in their right positions.
Tails are up.
And they become a good team again. It's timings. It's timings, and it all comes down. You can look at fixtures and you go, well, they'll beat them, they should beat them. But come April, you could be playing someone who you think now is going to be a hard game, might have lost 6 on the trot, or you might be thinking, oh, this is a give me, and they could have won 5 on the trot.
Yeah.
So it'll all come down to timings. I think they win this game today, this afternoon, and I'll be very, very confident that they will win the Premier League. If they get beat, and then I'll be a bit worried.
And Clinton, just looking at things that have changed in recent times, you look at the opening 18 games, errors committed that led to shots from opposition teams. In their opening 18 games, look at that, 7 errors. They've had 8 in their last 5. So what's changed?
They're human. They are human. And you can make mistakes, and they're making mistakes. A lot of teams do it. It does happen to them. It's just it's happened at the wrong time for them. But they're still 4 points clear. I know everyone's worrying. It's still 4 points, you know. It's still a bit of a big gap.
But it's the history, isn't it?
It is the history.
It's the last 3 seasons.
But I said it, and we spoke about it in midweek when we did the show in midweek. I'd start worrying when it gets to like April or 6 games to go and there's a point in it. Then I'll start worrying, and then I'll make Man City favourites. But at this moment in time, I still make Arsenal favourites. But it's a big football match. It's a different Leeds. The Leeds they beat at home is a different Leeds now. They got confident. It's a hard place to go to Ellen Road. And then the pressure will be, if they win it, the pressure goes back to Man City. But I've always said it many times that they need to score more goals. They score too many goals from open play. I mean,
Not enough from open play.
Not enough from open play.
Yeah.
Too many, from set pieces. And you need to score more from open play. And I feel like Arteta has to let the handbrake off. He has to definitely let the handbrake off, because I do believe they're playing within themselves at the moment. I look at the wingers.
Well, I mean, this backs up exactly what you're saying in terms of open play goals. I mean, they're down on 42, 57% of them. So what's stopping him then at the moment? They've got a 4-point lead that could well become 7 again come the end of the day. What's stopping Arteta with the vast array of talent that he's got in letting that handbrake off?
I don't know. Merse made a good point earlier on before we came off air, when he said about when they played Nottingham Forest, go toe-to-toe, make it a football match, because the Arsenal team that you see and the players they've got, they'll out-football a lot of teams, and with the ability they've got in their team, even the players they can bring off the bench, go toe-to-toe. I think you just got to let these players go and play the likes of... I know they paid big money for Eze. Eze's hardly played any football. I know he's rivaling with Odegaard at the moment, but he's a talent. And when your teams play a low block, he's the one who can get on the ball and make stuff happen. I know people say he's a bit slow in what he does. That's the style of play, and he's going to be like that. So, it is a worry at the moment.
And
with
own
Arsenal.
goals, by the way, they're joint second top scorer as well. So
that's not good enough at the moment. That's nowhere near good enough. You brought in the likes of Victor Gyökeres, but people will point at Victor Gyökeres. I don't see the wingers getting enough crosses in for Victor Gyökeres. I think they chop back, and I know as the next centre forward, once I've made my run and the winger keeps doing that, I'm thinking, when am I going to make my next run, because the ball's not coming in the box? So you can have a moan at him, and I agree, sometimes he does deserve to get criticised, but they're not getting enough crosses for him.
You're saying it's not good enough at the moment, but it is good enough at the moment. They're 4 points clear.
But it is, but...
Do you know what I mean?
But remember what... Listen,
you
3
mean
weeks
it could
ago,
be so much better?
3 weeks ago, it could have been 9 points.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
But it's not.
But it's not. It's
but
4
every
points.
time they've had a chance to go 9 points clear, they've failed, and that's a bit of worry. Yeah.
And so, just coming back to this nervousness, I mean, you could see Declan Rice recently after Nottingham Forest game when they draw 0-0, mouthing various things to the camera every time, and a word in between those two words. but there is an understandable nervousness amongst the crowd because of the history, particularly the last 3 seasons, where they've always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. Is that already transmitting to the players from what you're seeing?
See, I don't know if it's nervousness or it's just being over-emotional, and that's bound to be the case when you look. It's been 20-odd years, hasn't it, since they've won the title. They've come so close so many times, so they've got that experience of not quite getting there and getting over the line. I suppose the danger then, though, is letting those emotions, I suppose, work against you. You know, that's where you need that calm head, if you like. That's where you need, you know, the players, the staff, the manager, the fans, all to just remain calm. Like, you know, the guys have said they are still 4 points clear. So, yes, there's lots of things I'm sure they're looking at and they're working on in terms of making sure they score more goals from open play. They have been too over-reliant on set pieces. But you've got to say the amount of talent and quality within that squad, the fact that they've got 2 players pretty much for every position when everyone's fit and available, they can, you know, create things from open play. They can score many goals. They have got a bench that they can look to and change things if they need to. So, yeah, I think it's probably over-emotional, and I just think that's understandable.
And we still shouldn't forget, Tim, they've still got the best defence in the Premier League. They've only conceded 17 goals. They're still imperiously strong at the back. So in some ways, does Arteta need to switch his focus into bringing what they have at the back to his front line, taking that handbrake off? How would you like to see him do that? Do you think he will?
I think Saliba and Gabriel are capable of defending on their own, especially in a game against Leeds. Even though it's at Ellen Road, we know how difficult it is. You know, the fans are on the up. Let them defend on their own and push more bodies forward, and perhaps leave bodies up the field as well. On maybe in a wide position, maybe Sacco, they're reliant on. He's not had a good season. Well, he started okay, but he's been tailed off. Medwecki, if he wants to play, or Eze, just leave him up the field. You know, Martinelli, I think he's always a threat, especially with his pace in behind. They just got to find the solutions. I don't care whether they score goals from open play or they score them from set pieces. Makes no difference. At the end of the season, when they're carrying that trophy around the Emirates, he ain't going to say asterisk, yeah, but they scored a load of goals from set pieces. It will not matter. It will not matter how they score the goals. They just got to get the job done. My advice to them would be, you know, like, I can only go on my experiences. They have to go flat out. The handbrake has to come out off from day one, and they have to take the emotion out of it. Don't leave it to chance. Don't let the anxiety breed from the Emirates crowd onto the pitch. I know they're playing away tonight, but just blow teams away, and there'll be certain games they're capable of doing it. If any team wants to play a basketball match with them and they go toe-to-toe, Arsenal, I would back to win it. I would back them to win them sort of games. So try and invite that game, try and entice that game. And I think they will get obliged tonight. I think if they went out and the only problem they would have, but they can't worry about this, if they concede, then the team really has got something to hold on to. But go on the front foot, outscore the opposition. They're capable of doing it. Everyone is fit in that squad now. They've had the luxury of letting Wanyeri, who's a superstar, you know, in the making, to go on loan. You know, they've got all the attributes to be able to go and win this Premier League. They just need to get over the line. It's natural for everyone to start questioning their desire, their bottle, you know. It's going to be, they've had that for the last 3 years. They need to just find a way to get over the line.
And listen, Merse, final question on this. Listen, if the nerves are beginning to creep in now, it's only going to get worse, unless, of course, a big gap opens up again for Arsenal at the top. From what you've seen this season, what you've seen from Arteta this season, do you feel they're better equipped to handle those nerves as we enter the final 4 months?
Yeah, I think so. And the advantage is I just don't see Man City. There's not the old Man City. It's not a Man City you
sort of 10,
put
11,
11 12 games together. I don't see that. So there'll be a few more slip-ups. I don't see anybody going perfect. But sooner or later, we will have to start bringing Aston Villa into this equation. You know, I think sometimes we get a little bit disrespectful here and we forget about Villa. We're 20-odd games in now. We're not 7 or 8 games. We're 20-odd games
still
in.
There.
And they've got some players that can hurt you. The pressure's not on them. Teams go and have a go at Villa. Teams will go and sit 10 behind the ball with Man City and Arsenal. Got to break them down. So sooner or later, we've got to be bringing Villa into the equation.
You know what? That's a good point. I know we ain't going to be able to see it. all 3 teams' next 5 or 6 games, if you look at Villa's games, there's no easy games in the Premier League, but it's the games that you'd want to face.
Brentford home, Bournemouth away, Brighton home, Newcastle at home in the FA Cup, and then after that, Leeds at home and Wolves away.
Yeah,
there you go.
The only time the pressure has been on Villa any time this season was at home to Everton.
Yeah.
And they lost that game.
Yeah, they did.
And many years ago when they were in the title race, it reminded me of that, the Oldham game at home. Remember when they lost to Oldham at home when they were chasing United down? So they will have to come over that, like, sooner or later.